Klay Thompson didn't just stroll back to the Golden State Warriors locker room after his pregame routine, he was floating on cloud 9. He was bouncing, spinning around, and vibing to some kind of basketball nirvana. And why wouldn't he? He was rejuvenated. With Stephen Curry taking the night off against the Jazz, Klay went all in, scoring 5 of his first 7 3-pointers, racking up 25 points by halftime, and wrapping up the game with 32 points in the Warriors' 118-110 victory over depleted Utah at Chase Center. It was Klay at his best. "Man, I'm feeling awesome today," Klay said as he zipped past one of his favorite Chase Center staff members. This was an entirely different Klay to the one we saw earlier in the season. The start of the season was different. Klay didn't exactly light up the court like he did against the Jazz, which threw a wrench into the Warriors' gears. People started buzzing that Klay's days as a big-name NBA player were numbered, and the Warriors' glory days might be on the decline. People started asking questions like, how good is Klay Thompson actually? Well, Ball Empire is here to answer just that. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, my friends. Klay Thompson is now almost 3 years past those tough injuries to his knee and Achilles that sidelined him for 2 full seasons. Even though the Warriors snagged a championship in his first season back, there were still some doubts about whether Klay could keep performing at an all-NBA level. After all, he was 31 and had a couple of serious injuries under his belt. Fast forward to 2023, and Klay's numbers weren't looking too hot. He had put up just 15.4 points per game through the first 22 games, his lowest average since his rookie year. His shooting percentages across the board: field goal, .397, three-point, .343, effective field goal, .498, and offensive rating, .104, were also either at career lows or the lowest they've been in a decade or more. It was a tough start to the season from Klay. He was playing defense like he had butter on his fingers, hanging out in the 9th percentile among NBA players in defensive points per possession differential. And get this, when Klay took a seat on the bench, it was like the Warriors threw a party on defense, giving up a sweet 8.3 fewer points per 100 possessions. Talk about a defensive flip-flop. The thing was that his offense hasn't been good either. The Warriors' scoring differential with him was a not-so-pretty 3.9. Now switch gears to when Klay was chilling on the bench, and suddenly the Warriors were rocking a plus 2.8 efficiency differential. But as soon as Klay jumped back in the game, it was like someone pulled the emergency brake and things started to slide to 1.1. Now, you might be thinking, what's the big deal, man? You see, the deal is that Klay was so bad during the earlier parts of the season that ESPN's Stephen A. Smith went full steam ahead with his reaction to one of Klay's post-game chats. He didn't just tap the brakes, he slammed him. He's like, "Yo, Klay, maybe it's time to show a little love to your struggles, huh?" I'm telling you, I could look Klay Thompson square in the eye and I double dog dare anyone to find a bigger Klay Thompson fan than me, Smith exclaimed. "I've been Klay's hype man for ages. You're not just a top 5 shooter on earth, my friend. You're in the intergalactic all-star lineup." Don't know if Klay took notice of the rant or not, but the Dub Nation certainly did, and they actually decided to start games with Klay Thompson on the bench. People were scratching their heads, wondering how Klay would handle it. "I found out this morning," Thompson said after the game. "Me and Steve Kerr had a good talk about it. You can do 2 things. You can pout or you can go out there and respond. I thought I did the latter very well tonight. Especially, turnovers, missed a few box outs though. And more importantly, I realized I'm going to play a ton of minutes. So you just gotta let the ego go when you think of coming off the bench and all that." Thankfully for everyone, he handled the situation very well. And guess what? Klay wasn't about to hit the eject button just yet. Even when he got benched in January for rookie Brandon Podziemski, yes, he got benched for a rookie. He wasn't disheartened. He kept his head in the game. Yup, a comeback was brewing. As they say, the comeback is always better than the setback, and there it was. He fought his way back into the team. As time went on, Klay hit his stride as well, finding rhythm, and the Warriors started to look like a team again. It was like a musical jam session, with Klay and the Warriors riffing off each other and hitting all the right notes. Klay has played more than 74 games this season, leading the pack on the team. That's 3 more than Curry, Jonathan Kuminga, and Kevon Looney, though Looney's missed games were more of a coach's decision. It's pretty mind-blowing considering Klay missed the entire 2019-20 and 2020-20-21 seasons, plus part of 2021-22, all thanks to those monster leg injuries. Klay might not be the same two-way all-star he was back in the day. Those pesky injuries swiped some of his defensive moves, and he's been hitting a few more clunkers with his shots lately. But hey, At 34, on a Warriors squad clawing tooth and nail for a playoff spot for ages, and with a contract expiring this July, Klay's still holding down the fort. He's the secret weapon, the guy who can turn a playoff series on its head all by himself. He's like that old reliable buddy who's always there when you need him, ready to unleash some serious basketball magic. Klay's had more life flashing before his eyes moments than you can count over the last few years. If anything, it's crystal clear now, especially since that heartbreaking ACL tear in the 2019 finals, that Klay's only getting stronger. Talk about coming full circle. I think it's pretty amazing because it's easy for fans to get caught up in the flashy shooting nights and big scoring performances, Klay reflected. But unless you've been through the grueling rehab of an Achilles or ACL injury, it's hard to grasp just how tough it is to bounce back from that and play, 94% of the games over 2 years? That's what I'm most proud of. Just being there, game after game, and being a steady presence on the court. NBA seasons are no joke. They're a marathon. It takes serious discipline to show up and perform night after night. So yeah, that's something I'm really proud of this season, just my ability to lace up and grind it out game after game. Coach Kerr dropped some wisdom on Sunday, pointing out that the Warriors are on track to smash their 44-38 record from last season. That's a win in itself, but man, this season has been like a wild ride at the theme park. Why? Well, picture this. The Wild West of basketball is packed with powerhouse teams, pushing the Warriors down to the number 10 spot. Throw in their slow start, a couple of Draymond Green suspension episodes, and the looming dynasty doomsday talk, and you've got yourself a drama-filled season. But don't count them out just yet. The game ain't over till the buzzer sounds, and with the Warriors, you never know what kind of hoops hijinks are just around the corner. The Warriors have definitely upgraded from last season. We're talking major chemistry boosts, a bench that has some fresh young talent stepping up to the plate. And let's not forget about the dynamic duo of Curry and Draymond. They are still carrying the team. And Klay, well, he's bringing the heat and dropping some serious buckets. So yeah, when you've got all that going for you, it's no wonder Kerr's singing the praises of this revamped Warriors squad. And this revamped squad is shouting only one thing. They aren't just relying on Klay to light up the scoreboard. They've got a whole squad of up-and-comers ready to shine. Podziemski's bringing that jack-of-all-trades game. Kuminga's unleashing his jaw-dropping athleticism and killer finishes. Moody's locking down on D and draining those sweet threes. And GP2, well, he's practically a defensive fortress out there. And let's not forget about CP3 running the show when the pressure's on, dishing out dimes and knocking down buckets like it's second nature. Sometimes Kerr mixes it up and doesn't roll with Klay in those nail-biting final moments. Even with Klay shooting a sizzling 41.4% from downtown since mid-February, his overall season average is still at a career-low 38.3%. So yeah, Klay's not always the go-to guy anymore, and that opens the door to opportunities, both for Thompson and the Dub Nation. The Golden State Warriors got bounced out of the play-in tournament by the Sacramento Kings with a 118-94 loss last month, and this has shifted all eyes on Klay Thompson, the other half of the legendary Splash Brothers. With the Warriors' playoff dreams dashed, Klay's now an unrestricted free agent, and the rumor mill's buzzing that he might be saying goodbye to the Bay Area. But Klay's not ready to dive into that convo just yet, at least not today. When reporters tried to grill him about his future with the Golden State Warriors, Klay pulled off some smooth moves worthy of his basketball finesse. He said, "We've still got some hoops to talk about before we dive into all that." And you know what? He's got a point. Free agency's not until July 1st, so why rush things? And he is right. This is a lot to take for him, to be honest. He's had one heck of a ride with the Warriors. 4 NBA championships, 5 All-Star selections, and a couple of shiny All-NBA third-team nods to boot. Oh, and don't forget those gold medals with Team USA in the 2014 World Cup and the 2016 Olympics. The memories are immense, but every good thing has an end, right? It's decision time for the Golden State Warriors, and Draymond Green had his say on his podcast. I personally want Klay to come back. We all do. But if Klay ultimately decides that he wants something else for himself, for his life, he's got my utmost love and support, because what we've done together can never be taken away. The brotherhood that we built will not change at all, but we do want to finish. Carr also wants him back, stating he's still got good years left, and I know I speak for everybody in the organization. We want him back. What Klay has meant to this franchise, and as good as he still is, we desperately want him back. With his current performance, Klay Thompson might not be pulling in max contracts like he used to, but the market is heating up, and it's looking like he's about to hit the jackpot. Just look at Grayson Allen's deal. $70 million over 4 years. That's some serious cash for raining threes. And with Allen off the board, Thompson's got less competition to worry about. And if Malik Monk's injury keeps him sidelined sidelined, that's even fewer shooters to contend with. It's like Thompson's got a clearer path to the treasure chest of free agency riches. Now picture this, 7 teams are sitting on a mountain of cash, all looking to splash it on some shooting talent. And who's the hottest ticket in town? You guessed it, Klay Thompson. Rumor has it that the Orlando Magic are already scouting him out. It's like a game of basketball bingo, and Thompson's got all the right numbers. Back in the 90s, Carr witnessed the Chicago Bulls dynasty crumble after their 1998 championship. Now he's seeing history repeat itself with the Golden State Warriors. In a throwback interview, Kerr was very open about why the Bull dynasty ended. Their contract end. Trying to keep the dream team together with a massive payroll is like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. It just ain't happening. And now, with even the Kings stepping up their game, it's like the Warriors' days of domination are numbered. Now the question remains, whether Klay Thompson has shot his last 3 in a Warriors jersey or not. Only God knows the answer, but rest assured, Ball Empire will be the first one to bring in all the latest news to you guys. I mean, we already have all the information about the guy who is the spearhead of the new Warriors dynasty. Do you know about him? Check this video out to know more.